man tracking 13,000 miles for PTSD, 3 young men who save a man from jumping off of a bridge and committing suicide, and finally, a man who creates prosthetic arms for young children. All these stories ahead on today's episode of The Project Positive.
Like the dangerous devil, so recognize game. You think you got a master plan with the mic in your hand, claim to be the man before I'll be damned. Your skills is lacking, I'm lyric attacking like Dre and Mug. I'll be a soul assassin, smashing and crashing any hope you have.
Welcome to The Project Positive for Sunday, April 1st, 2018. I hope you've had a good Easter holiday today with your family, and let's jump right into today's positive stories. Our first story comes from a man who does trekking across the country for PTSD. Now, this man has a mission. He wants to travel 13,000 miles by bike across the country to bring PTSD awareness for our returning vets from war. Now, his name is Ellie Smith. He has a 3-year, 13,000 mile journey to complete. He's hoping to complete it by Thanksgiving of 2019. He has started this because he wants to raise awareness to the fact that there are so many soldiers returning home that are living with PTSD in our country. Now, some statistics for you. Approximately 20 vets commit suicide every day in our country, and 9% of the population is veterans, and yet they account for 18% of the suicides. So they have more than double rate of suicide as compared to regular population. So this man decided, because he was a returning vet himself, he was a gunner from 2000 to 2002, a tank gunner, and he decided that he wanted to bring awareness to this epidemic, PTSD. And the way that he felt he could do that was to trek across the country. Now, he originally started out by doing hikes and climbing the 4 corners of the United States. When he was finished with that, he wanted to go ahead and move into doing a biking trek. So he's planned 13,000 miles ahead of him. He wants to bring awareness and ask that the public just think of the vets. Maybe there's lonely vets that live in your neighborhood. Do something as simple as take them a box of cookies, take them to dinner, ask them if you can water their lawn for them. Anything you can do to help these people feel like they're still part of society and that they still matter. It may end up saving lives. So that's what he wanted to do. That's our first story today. An incredible job by this man. I wish him success, and I hope that he's able to finish his journey and reach the 13,000 mile goal that he has. Our next story up for today comes out of England. We have 3 young men by the name of Devonte, Sammy, and Sean. Now, these men happened to come upon a fella that was at a bridge. He was planning on committing suicide, and he had a rope around his neck. He was getting ready to jump from an overpass. These 3 young men, all 12 years old, decided to go up, grab a hold of this guy, and hang on to him and not let go of him until they called for help. Help eventually came. They were able to save this man's life. The young men are up for a humanitarian award. It is called the Royal Humane Society Award. So kudos to these young men for doing the right thing. It just goes to show, it kind of ties into our first story, how suicidal people can become. It can be any part of the population that can become suicidal people need to look out for your neighbors and just try to do the right thing. Try to treat people with kindness. Try to reach out to people. Try to pay it forward. Anything you can do to brighten up people's day instead of being part of the problem with the negativity and the selfishness in our society. If you can do something to contribute, make our society better, that's great. Now, these young men have done a nice job. I want to congratulate them for doing that, and if you want to read their story, the link will be below the video. Finally, we have a man named Steve. Now, he runs an organization called Limbitless. Limbitless, not limitless, but Limbitless. What he does is he creates these plastic limbs for children of all different sizes, colors, shapes, and they can be anything like Iron Man, they can be a princess, whatever this kid can imagine. He creates movable limbs from 3D printers, and these children are now able to grip and grab things and use this hand that they did not have before, like a regular hand. He's creating these things out of a design that he made on the 3D printer. These are spreading around the world. There are so many people that have benefited from his design and from these hands that he creates. He's able to create these hands for about $20 a piece, whereas the high-end mechanical makers that are creating the real high-end pieces on the market now, you could be looking at $25, $50, $100, $150,000 for these mechanical hands. He's creating these hands with simple movable joints and rubber bands, and these things look really cool. They give the kids pride, they give them a hand to use, and I think that's an incredible project he's doing. Not only is it great for the kids, great for the families, it's also great to show that mechanical and medical stuff can be created without costing as much as a house. And it shows again that we have a real serious problem with the medical community in our country and in the world, and it seems to be that profits are over people. If you're in the medical community and watching this, I hope that this message gets through to you, because we have a real problem in our society with the cost of medical. So congratulations to this guy for doing something really cool, or for reaffirming to the public that medical things can be done without costing an arm and a leg, pun intended. Yeah, so those are our 3 stories for today. I hope you enjoyed them, and enjoy the rest of your Easter. I'm out for now, and we will see you next week. Peace.